Hi, it's Charlie from Stan James. Welcome to a preview of the Boxing Day card from Kempton Park. The feature, of course, is the William Hill King George VI Chase. I'm afraid to say this morning, Thursday as well, was very, very optimistic that racing would take place. We are now betting at Stan James 4-9 that racing is abandoned on Boxing Day, and 7-4 that racing goes ahead. Let's just pray that the thaw, if it ever arrives at Kempton Park on Boxing Day morning. But at this moment in time, I'm afraid to say confidence is slightly ebbing. But let's go through the card anyway. Remember that two of the races, the King George and also the Christmas Hurdle, if racing can go ahead on the Monday, they will be transferred to that, and there will be Channel 4 coverage. That meeting is at this moment in time is not due to be televised on Channel 4, but if the King George and the Christmas Hurdle, then 4 races will be live on Channel 4. The William Hill Novices Hurdle is the first one. Taboo was likely to go off favourite, but Secret World would be the one for me. I backed it first time out at Newbury. Didn't quite get home. I think Barry Geraghty knows a little bit more about him now. Henderson's had a bit more time to work on him. I think he'll be played late. I thought he hurdled really well and went clear of his field, and I think he'll hold on to him a bit more. When he was with Nasida on the flat, won a division of the Wood Ditton, and he went off favourite for the Jersey Stakes. I think got down to the start. He did run, but Frankie wasn't happy with him. He had a very poor journey to the track, but it would be Secret World for me. Can pass on a good word for King's Legacy in the 2.5 mile extended 2.5 mile handicap hurdle, second on the card. King's Legacy, Ryan Mahan takes £5 off. Very competitive handicap hurdle, as you would imagine. Quarter of the odds, of course. All races at Stan James on Boxing Day at Kempton Park, but King's Legacy for me, he was coming back from a layoff last time. Third race is the Feltham, fascinating race this, 1833, again of Paul Nicholls. Sam Thomas takes the mount. Big day for Sam Thomas. Let's hope he can get back in the winners enclosure. Rode a couple of winners for Nicholls, but it's not been the greatest year for Sam. But 1833, all his wins have been left-handed rather. That would be a slight concern. I think he looks a real stayer, but I was quite taken with Master of the Hall at Ascot on his chase debut, and if it becomes a war of attrition, then maybe 1833 would be the one. But the ground is forecast good, and I think Master of the Hall is a winning pointer as well. He impressed me with his jumping, and he's got a turn of foot, a bit of class, Master of the Hall, and he can win the Feltham, the first of the Grade 1s, onto the second one, which is the Christmas Hurdle. Binocular finished third in the corresponding race to Go Native last year. A second horse home was Starlock, and he finished third, of course, in the StanJames.com fighting fifth last time out. So Starlock again was second on this occasion to Pedlar's Cross. 2-1 favourites were ourselves, Binocular, for the Christmas Hurdle. 3-1 then for Starlock. Kaiba Kim, run up in the Champion Hurdle last time, hasn't been seen since the finishing second in the Aintree Hurdle, is a 4-1 shot. Overturn 8-1. Escortman 9s. And Oscar Whiskey is a 10-1 shot. Overturn's the interesting one as well. Won the Galway Hurdle last time. Northumberland Plate, wonderful front runner. He may get a soft lead as well, and it would be great if this one won. Of course, then Donald McCain from his yard in Chumley in Cheshire will have two of the big players for the Stan James Champion Hurdle on Tuesday, March the 15th. But I just think Binocular, there's no excuses. I think this time he'll have something to aim at, and he'll be fitter, leaner, and I think, speaking to connections after he was defeated, there's nobody who's won a Champion Hurdle in November. Those words were ringing around my ears and in my head, and I think we'll see a different performance. Starlock, this is his big race, but I just favour Binocular onto the King George VI Chase and Kauto Star. He's already one of racing's greats. You don't win 4 King Georges, 2 Tingle Creeks and 2 Gold Cups and not be a great horse. This is his time. 3 miles around Kempton. I think he's now unbeatable. Okay, he's very nearly 11. He'll be 11 on the 1st of January. Remember, no 11-year-old has won the Gold Cup. Bear this in mind when people are quoting prices for Kauto Star if he wins for the Gold Cup. No 11-year-old has won the Gold Cup, or older, 11 or older, has won the Gold Cup since Watermouth in 1969. Do bear that in mind. He won't win a Gold Cup again, in my opinion, but he'll win a 5th Gold Cup. He won it King George, rather. He won 36 lengths. He won the corresponding race. Okay, he probably wouldn't have won the Gold Cup when he fell 4 out, just being getting niggled along, and he made that desperate error. And there were those who cramped his win over Sizing Europe by 4 lengths at Down Royal on his reappearance, but I think he's better than these. I could pick holes in them long run. Not just Sam. I think when he won his Feltham 12 months ago, he clouted most of it. I think he only ran against a non-stayer. Nakarai's a really good horse, but he's not Kauto Star. For Paddy the Plough, last race, finished second 10 of the last 11 runs. Riverside Theatre won't get home. Sizing Europe again, similar concerns. Planet is Sound for me, 15-2 each way. A third, 1, 2, 3. With ourselves at Stan James, without Kauto Star, I think Planet of Sound 15-2 is a good bet. On to the last race, Our Bub. This was highly regarded when Willie McMullins, and he jumped beautifully at Haydock on his reappearance. He's had wind problems, but who hasn't, and who's not going to have them over Christmas? But I think Our Bob, if they can just eke out a little bit more sort of stamina, jump beautifully. And, you know, off a mark of 127, I think he is now. I think they think, you know, at one stage they thought he was a real top-notch chaser. Okay, his wind is going to be a problem, but he'll certainly come there, I think, swinging. Jumps beautifully, and Our Bob, to me, I think he's got Swansbrook of Alan King's to beat. But all revolves. Boxing Day revolves around two people, one horse, one equine and one human. Tony McCoy, he's never ridden a Kauto Star before, but he's the sports personality of the year. Kauto Star has won 4 consecutive King George VI chases. Desi fell when he tried to win his 5th. I don't think Kauto Star, I think it's his time. Whatever happens in the Gold Cup, but Kauto Star on Boxing Day, I think he's something special. I think it's written that AP will ride him and the Kauto Star will win his 5th consecutive King George VI chase. 5-6, which Stan James he does. 7-4, and I'm afraid that racing goes ahead. Have a great Christmas and be lucky.